Well, welcome back. Now, in today's episode, we're going to be discussing, can you do real estate or the real estate business on a part-time basis? Absolutely. Now, that's an easy question for me to answer because most real estate people actually work part-time. So we're going to take a kind of a look at that now, and I'll give you some ideas that you can use right away. So start out right away. What is it you want to do? What part of the real estate business do you want? Do you want traditional real estate, which would be small and large single-family homes, maybe some small commercial, even a little bit of agricultural? That's the traditional real estate. Or maybe you want to be involved in commercial real estate where you're doing business with warehousing, office buildings, things like that. And then, of course, for some people, they just want to do agricultural, or you could just become an investor. All right, so all of these are parts of the real estate business, and you definitely can do those on a part-time basis. So there's going to be a lot of openings every year. As a matter of fact, on a national basis, the Real Estate Association, the National Association of Realtors, has over 1 million members during the great economic times. However, when the times slow down, a lot of people just drop out because they can't make money in real estate. So what they do, at least they feel they can't make money, so they just kind of drop out, and it drops down to about 500,000 members. Most of those people are working part-time. Now, they might be going to office full-time, but real estate certainly doesn't take that. All right, so maybe you're attracted to sales. If you are attracted to sales, believe me, every real estate broker that's out there needs some help on the weekends. They need part-time people. So that's a great way to learn. So I'll be right back and tell you more about this business. Okay, so I don't know where you are in your life and what you want to do, but the question always comes up, can I do real estate part-time? You certainly can do the business I'm in part-time, which is I'm involved in a non-traditional part of real estate. It's actually a subset. It's called tax liens and tax defaulted property. Some people like to do this business by doing rental property. Well, that's certainly part-time also. Matter of fact, if you get involved in rental property, you'll also get involved on a part-time basis being a handyman. You'll also get involved in a part-time basis renting properties out. So it is part-time, so keep your regular job and then learn how to do this on a part-time basis. All right, now, when you do business part-time, you just have to allocate your time. For example, I'm in the tax defaulted business, and so I can then evaluate so much time each week to do evaluations of properties, shop properties, think about how I'm going to sell properties, think about my strategy of what I'm going to buy. You see, tax defaulted auctions usually only take place one time a year in a community. Now, a place like a state like Georgia will have a new sale every month, but that's one sale a month in that county. Now, you'll have to find yourself, you want to work full-time, going to multiple counties. But basically what I'm saying is, I'm answering the question, can you do real estate part-time? Absolutely. And when you get involved in this kind of real estate, you're buying based on margin. In other words, you buy it low, and then you sell it at a price higher than that, but maybe not as high as the retail price. So you're going to buy it low and sell it low. You're just involved in the margin. And so how many deals are you going to do? You're not going to do, 4 or 5 a month. You're going to do one at a time. So perfect business for a person that wants to work on a part-time basis. Now, do you want to be a landlord? Do you want to be a person renting property? Well, that's okay. Do you want to be a person that helps real estate people out in the buying and selling? Do you want to work on a title company? Lots of part-time work, that's for sure. Now, if you're a handy person, I'm going to tell you, I can guarantee you, if you're a handy person, you'll get involved in that rental property. And if you do, there's always something to do. There's always somebody calling the phone or whatever. All right. So I prefer to be in the business where I'm going to buy it and then I'm going to resell it. I want to buy it and then I want to resell it. All right, so my big interest and the reason I like the business is I can buy low. Now, why am I going to buy low? Because I'm buying at tax defaulted auctions. Now, these are auctions that the county is conducting every single year, and in some states they'll do one every single month. All right, so investors want part-time. This is perfect part-time. It doesn't take long to put a real estate deal together. Once you look at it and you know what you want to do, it might be an hour or two. The sales process itself might be an hour or two. The closing process, hour or two. The point is, it's not a full-time thing unless you're trying to do 3 or 4 properties a month like a very busy broker might be trying to do. All right. So this business requires, from my perspective, a lot of investigation. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, I want to find the auction. Then once I do that, I want to find out how many properties they have available. Once I know that, then I want to start picking and choosing the ones I might want to buy. So that's going to take some investigation time. It's going to take some time to evaluate it. It's going to take some time to figure out my strategy. So I can do all of that on a part-time basis. So you're not going to be, trying to do 4 or 5. You're going to try to do 1 or 2 at a time. All right. So this business that I'm in, and I'm in tax defaulted real estate, is really a subset of the traditional real estate. Now remember, traditional real estate is buying and selling properties, okay? It might be agricultural, it might be rental, and that kind of thing. This business is a subset of that, where I'm going to try to buy from the local county. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I want to buy from the county. Why? Because what they have done is they confiscated it, and when they did confiscate it, they just want to get rid of it, okay? So this is a very lucrative business, and that's what attracted me to it. So I can still keep my part-time status. However, now I'm going to try to buy the property at very close to back taxes, which is the way the government sells them. All right, now here's what's going on. The local legislature in that state has mandated that if people don't pay tax, the county commissioners will come along and they'll take away the property. The county doesn't want the property. They already own enough property. So they're going to sell it, starting bid, very close to back taxes. All right, now why are they doing that? Well, if someone doesn't pay taxes, it causes a big problem for the local county. What's the problem? The county can't pay the school teachers, can't pay the firefighters, can't pay the police department. The point is the county has bills to pay. All right, if I can buy that property at auction, I'm helping the county because now they get money. The property's back on the tax roll, and I'm helping myself because I'm going to try to buy it at 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar. Then I'm going to try to sell it for 50, 60, or 70 cents on the dollar. Okay, you're getting the idea. So the local county has a problem. I'm solving the county's problem. They like that. And I'm also solving the problem for the person that wants a great deal in real estate. So what have I been talking about? I've been talking about tax defaulted property, doing it part-time in any one of the 3,000 counties that are all across this country. So there's lots of business out there. You're going to buy these properties for pennies on the dollar. In other words, very close to the back taxes. Sometimes there's 60, 70, 80% discounts. Now, will there always be enough? Yes, there's plenty of properties, but the small, low population counties, let's say low population, not necessarily small, but not very many people in the county, there probably won't be many property auctions. So they might only have a couple of dozen, 50 or 100 properties for auction, whereas a county with a large population, like San Bernardino or Los Angeles, California, they might have as many as 2,000 properties available. That doesn't mean you're going to look at all of them. You're going to have to narrow down a section of the county to buy in. But you're still going to be able to do that on a part-time basis. Now, the question that came up today and we're discussing is, can I do real estate part-time? Absolutely. Everything we're doing can be done part-time. All right, are there enough of these properties around? Yes. The confiscated properties are going to be in every single county, and it's not going away. This has been going on for 200 years, so nothing new about this. All the county wants to do is confiscate the property, resell it, and take it off the default list and put it back over here on the honorable taxpayer list. So they sell it at a low price to get rid of it. They get it back on the tax roll. It's to your advantage because you're going to buy it low. You can sell it for any price you want. Now, I don't try to sell for retail. I buy it low and then I sell it low. So yes, I make a margin on the property. Did that work? Absolutely. It's going to work for everybody. All right. So part-time investing involves research, involves evaluation, involves figuring out what you're going to sell it for. But ultimately, you're going to do all those things, and you're going to do it part-time. You're dealing with bargain basement properties, exactly. Now, if you're buying for 10 cents or 20 cents on the dollar, why not just sell it for about 50 cents on the dollar? Once you understand this business, you can do it. You can be busy every month on a part-time basis because there's going to be so many auctions. There's going to be at least 5,000 auctions every year. Now, here's the beauty of an auction. Every time an auction takes place, when the auction takes place, the county is going to cancel. In other words, they're going to delete the mortgage or the deed of trust loan so that there's not going to be any loan on the property. The county does that. It's the law of the land. Every legislature requires the same thing. That same thing is going to happen in all 3,000 counties. Now, how will you know what they're going to do? There's always going to be auction rules, and you can request those, or you can find them all online. Now, I'm going to button it up right now. If you do go to these auctions, what you want to do before you go is you want to look at the property before you go. In other words, you want to have boots on the ground. You want to make sure you've looked at this property. What if there was a fire? What if there was a flood? What if there was a hurricane? What if it was next to a pig farm? I don't know where it's going to be, but you want to make sure you've looked at it, because if it burned down, well, you got a problem on your hands. What are you going to do with a burned out property? So you want to make sure that you've checked it out. Additionally, don't get into a bidding war and start pushing the price up. You want to know what your sales price, in other words, know your exit strategy before you buy. So I want to evaluate a property. I look at what they're going to sell it for at auction. All right. Then I say, what could I sell it for later? So I don't try to get full retail. I buy it low and I sell it low. My name is Ted Thomas. You can go right below me for a free gift.